Welcome back, I'm Captain Xavier, and this is an addendum to yesterday's video in which I discussed the ability, the possibility, the logistics of hooking a proton pack up to a Springer, and I covered most of the various large categories of Springers in that, but I failed to cover this style, the integrated tube magazine design, which technically is still an internal magazine, but it's a different style of internal magazine from the Kronos and its clones, all of the ones that use that style. And so, could you make one of these that fed from a proton pack? And my theory, I haven't actually tested it, but my theory is that not only could you make it take a proton pack, you could make it take a proton pack while still also not taking a proton pack, which I think would make these almost an ideal candidate for a proton pack addition. So what I think you could do, and again this is theoretical because I haven't actually tested this, I think if you converted one of the three tubes to be fed from a proton pack. So if you took out the spring, took out the follower, and fed a proton pack into the back of the tube, it would in fact feed just fine, and you would be able to feed from that tube for as long as you wanted. And my gut instinct is that you would want to use the rightmost one, because that's the one that feeds first. So the way these work is you put rounds into them and it feeds one round from each cylinder into the chambers, but then it continues to feed from the rightmost one until it's empty and then goes to the next one and the next one. So let me just test that theory and make sure it's true. There we go. Yes. So, what is your boggle? Yeah. So as you can see, it's feeding from this one, and then once that one is empty, it will finally start feeding from the next one. And so if this tube was fed from a proton pack, it would just continue to feed from a proton pack until your proton pack was empty, and then it would fall back to these two tubes, which you could easily refill on the fly, which is why these are, in my opinion, excellent HVZ blasters, because they're so easy to top off. So yeah, I think it would be possible, and I might try it. I'm not going to try it with these two, but I do have more of these blasters, and so I might actually give it a try. I think this one might be, I don't know if this would be the easiest, but I think it would work. The other option, hypothetically, would be to feed directly up here, but you would need to modify the blaster. You'd still need to modify the blaster because these ports are tight. You have to push a dart into them, and the proton pack wouldn't be able to, and it would just be pushing straight down and wouldn't necessarily feed. So you'd need either to put it at an angle right up here or a tube that curved in order to get it in, and then you wouldn't be able to close this, so you wouldn't necessarily be able to use these two tubes because the followers wouldn't be closed. So I really do think feeding in from the back is your best option, and I think it would be fairly simple to simply Dremel, drill, cut a hole in the back and hook your hose directly to it. I think that would work, and I think that would be pretty nifty. So I will eventually give it a try. I'm not going to give it a try as part of this series, but I may try it in the future given that I have extra Artemises and Hades lying around. So there you have it. There's my thoughts on these two blasters and proton packs, and stay tuned for the point when I may eventually do it in the future. Right. Comment if you have other ideas, if there's some whole category of proton or rival blaster that I have again omitted. By all means, I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments, and if I have them, I'll talk about them. If I don't, I won't. So there. Thank you for watching.